Between a raging pandemic, an attempted coup, another impeachment, and an historic transfer of power, it's been a beyond full-time job keeping up with the news lately. And that means there's a lot of news people are missing as well. Really important news in many cases. Like the fact that some of those responsible for poisoning the drinking water of more than 100,000 people in Flint, Michigan, might finally be held accountable after 7 long years, at least to some degree. Last week, the state's attorney general announced indictments against 9 former state officials, including ex-governor Rick Snyder, for their roles in the crisis. Snyder's charged with willful neglect of duty. That's a misdemeanor. But at least 2 other officials are facing involuntary manslaughter charges, felonies that could result in up to 15 years in prison. Now, for those who don't remember or never knew how truly egregious this whole thing was, in 2014, officials tried to save some money by switching Flint's water supply from Lake Huron to the nearby Flint River against expert advice. And even though it would have cost only $150 a day to treat the water, so it'd be less corrosive as it ran through a series of old lead pipes, they opted not to. $150 a day to protect the people of Flint. Tests later found the blood lead levels of kids in some neighborhoods nearly tripled, which can stunt development, cause lifelong neurological effects. At least 12 people died, according to the state, although a 2018 Frontline report suggests the death toll may be as high as 115 people. Dozens more got sick with Legionnaire's disease. But to make matters worse, emails show officials, including the then governor, were aware of the water issues for at least 10 months before anyone alerted the public. For 10 months. And then it took another 5 ridiculously long years before the city finally got access to a clean water supply. That was in mid-2019. That's 5 years of 100,000 people drinking, cooking, and bathing with bottled water, costing around $400 million. Thankfully, a district court judge just preliminarily approved a $641 million settlement for residents affected. But as for the criminal case, unsurprisingly, everyone charged has pled not guilty, and they were all immediately released on bond. So the lack of celebration from those in Flint is totally understandable.
Nobody's sitting in jail. If I poisoned you, I would be in jail.
I do not feel the charges are strong enough.
This does not mean Flint is healed.
No, it does not. And it's also likely not coincidental that 54% of this affected community is black. To this day, many still don't trust city and state officials or the safety of the drinking water, as Flint resident Larry Marshall told CBS's 60 Minutes just last week.
We know they lying. When they say something, it's like talking to the wind, you know. I don't believe nothing they say. Water should be a basic necessity. This is not a third world country, but we're living like one.
A sentiment we've heard in more than one area in recent weeks, but hopefully the winds of change are finally blowing in the right direction. What do you think? Email us, tweet us, share your thoughts.